Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills. I am your stock mentor, Brian Johnson. Ultimately, a move down today in the markets. We did close lower. The Nasdaq still taking the biggest beating of the three indices as we've seen the last couple days, which is of interest to me to see if that leads the markets lower now. The Dow was the strongest, holding up the best. But what did we see? We saw a gap up to start the day, followed by some pretty decent trading to the downside. Definitely opportunities to day trade this market today. Within the first I'd say about 2.5 hours, we did nothing but run straight downwards, giving good opportunities. From there, we found a bounce. We're at right off this lower line right here. And from there, it absolutely took a hard turn to the upside and continued its way up most of the day before kind of finishing then down. But good opportunities for trading both to the bear side and the bull side because the runs down and up were for large amounts of points at the time. So we get a move from up here at the 10,600 mark, go figure, about 10,585, run all the way down to about the 10,400 mark, go figure, and then bounce from there into what is still a consolidation, guys, overall. This 10,600, 10,400 still containing price extremely well. This line I have is at about the 10,380-ish, 10,390-ish mark. For those of you that might have taken a little bit of a short right below 10,400, a little bit more of a spec trade to get in right below 10,400, but if you took it today, I hope you covered. If you are holding, you want to be very careful tomorrow. If we get another strike at this 10,400, let's call it now 10, actually 390. Hold on, let me just pull up this little thing. I don't know why I didn't do this before. This line is right at about 10,390-ish or so. So let's call it 10,390. 10,387 to 10,390. If we get another strike at that tomorrow, watch carefully if you're bearish. That might be still another great opportunity to get short this market. So let's see what we get coming into Friday. Reminder, it is not only the end of the week, it is the end of the month tomorrow. Let's see if they try to make this look all pretty coming into the end of July. Don't know if they necessarily need to, so it's anybody's call. However, we saw the gap up to my 10,600 overhead resistance level and a run all the way down to my 10,400 lower support level. These are holding beautifully right now, guys. Very nicely. So another strike at 10,400, let's call it, 10,380, whatever. Gives you another opportunity to short this thing back to about 10,300 and maybe even below. Your place to get long is either A, you could take a little bit of a speculative long above about 10,520, 525, something like that, back into the 10,600 mark, but really above 10,600 is your more conservative place to play. If you see what was done here on the daily, look how it made this move below 10,400 and the bulls quickly tried to retreat back up and above that. They did not want to stay in that or stay below that 200-day very long. So this did act as very good support. On the way down, it did get broken, but it only made it about another 20 points or so before it was quickly gobbled up again by the bears or bulls. They did not want to close down that far. Still keeping us above this support line here as well. Right now, guys, I still have to look at this as neutral to bullish because we're holding these upper lines here. I love it above 10,600, and I still like it below that 10,400 or 10 now 380-ish or wherever that line was at. Still great trades to try again, okay? If you took a trade today below 10,400, got knocked out, it's okay. More opportunities coming. We'll make that back, no problem. Above 10,600, below 10,380 for your trades. Okay, trying to hold that 200. This is so curious to watch these bulls work hard to kind of keep these upper levels. Good price action. Great price action. NASDAQ on a 60. Look what we've seen now. We have finally seen a test of this blue line. Lo and behold, it held. The gap up, the run down, the hold of the blue line. Fantastic place to look to take profits and or maybe enter a little bit of a speculative long position. Sure enough, it held beautifully today. So for those of you playing that, what a great opportunities both down and up on all the markets. From a daily, also trying to squeeze its way below the 200. Bulls having nothing of it. Now, it just made it back to, at, on, whatever you want to call it, this line here. But ultimately, overall price action is still neutral to bullish in this case until we get back below all of this mess here. Certainly back below this 20. We get back below the 20-day, and it could be game on for the Bears at that point. So you'll want to watch that closely, especially if we get another strike below this 200. Still worth a little bit of a speculative short at that time. Remember, that is a counter trend move at this point, so you want to be very careful with all those. On a weekly, trying to hold this blue line. Got a little poke above it earlier in the week, hit the 20, bounced right back down. So tomorrow we will get a close to these weekly candles, giving us maybe some direction coming into next week. The Bears absolutely want to try to stay below these lines as best they can on the markets. SPX on a 60, coming back ever so slowly back into the and below the 1100 area. Good trade below 1100 got you back to about 1093. If you took some profits kind of down in this 1090-ish area, that was one of my profit target areas. Made just a few points on it today before the bulls once again take over and run this thing right back up, trying to hold that 1100 area. If you got in short below 1100 and you're holding overnight, a little bit more speculative on your part, but I'll tell you what you're waiting for. You're still waiting for it to get back and up and over now, really. Kind of this 1115 to 1120 mark. Still kind of have that no-fly zone for myself in between about 1113 and 1125. But ultimately, this is what you're watching now to see which way we're going to go. Anything back below this area just puts more bearish pressure on the markets. Keeping in mind, though, over the last few days, we haven't seen a huge attack by the Bears. Today was about as close as we got in that first 2.5 hours. Beyond that, really nothing. Still neutral to bullish on this markets in the short term. Here we are, hit that overhead a couple days ago, coming down now to sit where? Right on this 1100-ish mark. Still the place to beat. Watch again to see if it tries to move itself below that tomorrow, and or maybe we start to see it roll back. We could also see a Friday consolidation day because it is end of month. So very curious to see where the markets want to go to close the month out. Weekly, here you go. Bears want to try to get it back below this blue line. It is holding the 20, but still above the 50. Will they try to get it back below that before the end of the week? Boy, it's anyone's guess at this point. It's really, really sitting in limbo right here. We are in a very tight consolidation in the markets. Any break one way or the other will give us our direction, but there is nothing in between these levels that we've been talking about. VIX on a daily was down ever so slightly. Not, once again, confirming what we saw in the markets. Markets moved down, VIX moved down. So no confirmation there for the week. Still messing around in this conglomeration of junk in between here. But overall, nothing major changing within the VIX. The fear is, a little bit here, a little bit there from day to day. But there's no big moves. There's no real fear to get out of the markets or that we're going to be bearish in the short term. Not yet, at least not by the fear indicator here. Apple coming back down today, sitting right on this line before bouncing back up. Now we're caught in this little trap right here of consolidation. Look at all this here. Remember how we bounced between it here? Now we're bouncing between it here, and this is right around the, well, let me just do this for you before, 257 and 260. Between 257 and 260 on Apple, just still an area of consolidation. Could this be making a head and shoulders? Absolutely. Sure looks like that could be the direction, but until we get a break, we won't know. I would be more inclined to tell you to wait till we get a break below the 20-day moving average before you look for a move there, and or the 20-week moving average if you're looking for maybe a longer-term trade there in Apple. FAS on a 60-minute was up a whopping 10 cents today. As you can see, we had the run down followed by the run up. So good intraday trading on the FAS, giving us nothing from a swing trader's perspective, just sideways consolidation, but holding the 50-day. Also, the FAZ on a 60-minute starting its way on a gap down, run up, move down. So great intraday trading on the FAS and the FAZ, making things actually it wasn't, looking at my other charts here, wasn't all that difficult to make a little bit of cash today on this. It was pretty simple trading overall for the FAS and the FAZ on a daily basis. Could have been very good money made today, both up and down, as it moved in a very, very uniform way. That'll do it. Here on the FAZ Daily, you can see that same look. It tried to break above some of these areas and just didn't hold by the end of the day, moving right back down into a consolidation. Any more attempts above this, I think, hold. So looking for breaks above 14, let's call it 1425 to 1450 to the long side, and still below 13 to the short side. There you go, guys. That'll do it for today's videos. Just another consolidation day. If we can continue to see consolidation, I'm going to have to change my videos and start showing you, I don't know, some sort of song and dance routine. Maybe I can get my neighbors to loan me their cow or something. I don't know. But I know, as you know, these videos, I keep saying, wait for major breaks. And I'm going to say it again, wait for major breaks, guys. It's a patience game, but I promise you you'll be rewarded if you do. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.